daughter through time and space. And these professors and physicists from Cornell and MIT wrote a paper, the theoretical idea that that is possible, utilizing black hole and quantum entanglement, that you could, in effect, send a message back through time, utilizing extreme circumstances in the vicinity of a black hole that could produce a closed time-like curve, which would essentially allow you to do this. But now, like I said, that's more theoretical, and the concept has, to do with information. You couldn't actually send yourself back because the event horizon of the black hole would just vaporize you. But information is possible, they say. So I thought, wow, that's an interesting, the fact that these like physicists got together and were inspired by this movie to try to, write a paper and see if it's possible. And I thought, well, what else? What other things have been inspired by science fiction? And it kind of goes along in a line of another idea I had to do, like the show of like modern prophets. Like one of my favorites, Philip K. Dick, because he predicted a lot of different technologies. And so I do have a bunch of his stuff for later in the show, but I started looking up all the different inventions that were inspired by, and there's many that I did not realize were directly inspired by science fiction stories. Like number one. No.
I was waiting for you to be like, something that you use every day in your life.
Well, yeah, there is kind of. I mean, there's several of them, in fact, but I thought I would go back a little farther before we get into some of the modern stuff. The modern submarine.
I don't use a submarine every day, Damien.
That's what I said. We'll get to that later.
Oh, okay.
The submarine. Now, while there were submarines around before Jules Verne wrote 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Those submarines were steam-powered or human-powered. They had to, like, pedal them.
Okay.
And they were extremely dangerous. You could only go in, like, I think they only used them, like, on the coastline or in the rivers. They used them in the Civil War.
Like, with, like, the pressure would probably just, like, push the rivets or whatever out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But after reading 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, there was a guy named... Simon Lake.
Simon Lake.
Yeah, Simon Lake, he developed the first submarine that could extensively navigate the open ocean. And this was back in the 1880s.
Oh, the 80s, man.
Well, the 1880s when he wrote the book.
It's a wild decade.
Mm-hmm. And he said he was inspired after reading Verne's story as a child. And not only that, but the world's first nuclear-powered submarine, the USS Nautilus, is named after the submarine that was in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which was called the Nautilus. And that was the first watercraft to reach the North Pole in 1958. So I thought that was interesting, that, submarine inspired by science fiction.
Didn't know.
There are so many other things that you do use every day. It's inspired by.
In addition to my submarine?
Yeah. Like your helicopter.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We all have a helicopter.
We all have a helicopter. I mean, we've all seen that. Was it that there was like back in the day, like the modern gentleman will have his own helicopter to go to work.
I like those old cartoons or
This wasn't even a cartoon. This was like a real.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, like parked it in the backyard or like landed it. Yeah.
Well, we're getting there, but now it's drones.
No.
We just have
Could you
personal
imagine
drones.
what would the DMV be like for flying vehicles?
I know. I mean, they have already flying cars, but they're super expensive, and I don't think they're technically legal.
People on the road
legal.
don't even get it right. How are we going to expect them to respect the
I know.
sky?
I know.
Yeah.
That's why you would have to be self-driving or self-flying, I should say.
Yeah.
Because, I wouldn't trust people to be flying around, especially if you think you getting like an Uber, flying Ubers.
Or just some guy.
Probably
like,
not the best idea.
bro, I could blow under a .07 right now.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, I'm going to get in the sky and I'll be fine.
I mean, hey, it could be one of those things that we adapt and we learn. And can you imagine how many just in-air collisions there would be?
Oh, yeah.
And not only that, you think like an in-air collision and then it's falling down on top of buildings and everything. But the helicopter was also inspired by Jules Verne.
Look at that.
Yeah. It was way
Figured
ahead
out
of his time,
all the
man.
inconvenient ways for us to travel. Did he think of a car eventually?
I think the car was
already out.
Yeah. But Igor Sikorsky, inventor of the modern helicopter, was inspired by Jules Verne's book Clipper of the Clouds, which he had read as a young boy. Sikorsky often quoted Jules Verne saying, "Anything that one man can imagine, another man can make real."
A richer man can do what a poor man dreams of.
And then keeping in the air, I guess you could say, is the rocket. Robert H. Goddard, the American scientist who built the first liquid-fueled rocket, which was successfully launched March 16th, 1926, 100 years ago.
Where were you? Yeah, right? Yeah.
Why didn't we have a
100 years ago in 2 months.
celebration
Yeah,
of that?
right?
He was fascinated with spaceflight after reading an 1898 newspaper serialization of H.G. Wells' classic novel, War of the Worlds. And he said that the concept of interplanetary flight gripped my imagination tremendously and created the rocket. Rocket Man. Another H.G. Wells.
I thought you were going to say that science fiction created Elton John.
Maybe. I mean, there's got to be some connection there.
No,
Definitely David Bowie.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He was right out of sci-fi.
Yeah, Ziggy Stardust has a whole backstory.
The other one is H.G. Wells published a novel in 1914 called The World Set Free, imagining the emergence of artificial atomic energy by 1933, followed by a devastating world war and the eventual emergence of a peaceful global government. He's a globalist. H.G. Wells created the globalist agenda. Physicist Leo say that his last name is Szilard.
What?
Szilard.
Hold on, wait. SZ.
My brain just keeps seeing lizard. Szilard. But he read the book in 1932 and inspired him to solve the problem of creating a nuclear chain reaction in 1933, just like it was said in the book. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The same book would inspire Szilard to campaign for arms control and peaceful international use of nuclear power after World War II. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Now I want to jump ahead. I do have a bunch of other ones that are kind of from the past. But you were, inquiring about things that we utilize every day.
I was just curious. You didn't have to center the whole show on it right now.
No, but this is a good one, though, because this is something I'm actually on right now using, and everyone uses it every day.
The computer?
Well, I am technically on the computer, but I'm utilizing the World Wide Web.
Oh, I got you. The internet.
The internet. And that was CERN scientist Sir Tim Berners-Lee, who created the World Wide Web, was inspired by the Arthur C. Clarke's 1964 short story, Dial F for Frankenstein. And the story imagined the world's telephone system connecting to become a conscious entity, which basically kind of predicted not just global networking, but also AI. But there also was other books that had the concepts of AI in there. Philip K. Dick.
But that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The story, written to mark the 100th anniversary of the first telephone call, speculated on the dangers of interconnected communication systems. And the story was cautionary prediction of global interlinked network directly influenced the conceptual understanding of the internet. In 1964 BBC interview, Clark famously predicted that by 2001, people would have personal consoles for instant communication and information access, acting as an early description of the web.
And would you say by 2001 you had that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the smartphones weren't out yet.
No, but I mean, we had all sorts of different ways to communicate.
Yeah.
Email, AOL, Instant Messenger. And I think by then there was some other websites and stuff you can go to as well.
Oh, yeah.
And chat boards, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Friendster was already out.
I was never on Friendster.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I know there was a lot of, forums and stuff, and you could always go to an internet cafe. And I mean, we did have...
But you could always go in real life and meet people. But we did have that way of
Also, Clark in 1945 proposed using geostationary satellites for worldwide communication.
Okay.
Modern day prophet right there, man. All right, let's see what else. Well, of course, since we're talking about the internet and we just mentioned smartphones, mobile phones in general were inspired by, this one, Paul. Come on.
The Jetsons? I don't know.
Yes, partly, yes,
Yeah.
but Star Trek.
Oh, that was going to be my second guess. But yeah.
The original flip phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did have that.
Yeah, the communicator. And that was in 1966. 30 years later, Motorola, which from Chicago.
Yeah, but even then, 82, they had the first cellular phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, the first cell network was in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
That was the big, bulky thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
they lost so that would have been 96, Motorola launched the first mobile flip phone. But yeah, 82, they came out with the first cell phone, which it was a nod to the series dubbed the StarTAC, TAC, StarTAC. Do you remember those?
No.
They were kind of like the precursor to the Razor.
Okay. Oh, maybe I remember.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It had a big battery on the back side of it.
It's just gray and flipped open.
Yeah, it was just kind of like a more bulky.
Yep, I remember.
Razor.
My parents had one. It sounded terrible. We were making a phone call. It did not sound good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could play Snake on it.
Okay, maybe we're talking about a different one. I'm talking about the before that. This didn't really have a screen. It was just it just had a display.
Oh,
for,
maybe
the
I'm
number.
thinking of the Nokia.
But yeah, Nokia definitely had Snake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can hear it ringing right now.
Interestingly, the creators of Star Trek also gave crew members the tricorder, a handheld device that gathered and stored data from the planets Captain Kirk and his crew visited. And if they thought to combine the two into one gadget, that would have
Go gadget.
that would have been the smartphone.
Yeah. Go gadget smartphone.
You brought up the Jetsons.
A few times.
Yeah. So remember, they had the home food machine, right? Which was similar, the later Star Trek had the replicator.
I want this for dinner, and then they get a pill, right?
But they also had the food machine that would make food appear.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Star Trek had the replicator, which, food would appear as well. But there's actually Columbia University. Researchers are working on 3D printing technology that can produce entire cooked meals from prepared ingredients rather than from molecules.
What are they using, though?
That, you have to let's see.
You know what I'm saying? There's got to be some sort of matter they're putting into it to 3D print. It's not just manifesting it out of thin air.
It's not just from, it's not from the molecules. You have to.
I've got repurposed meat, deconstructed meat, reconstructed for you.
Well, I'm looking at it now, and I don't know if you can see, because this computer's not mirrored over
If
there.
I wanted something deconstructed and reconstructed and overpaid for it, I'd go to Alinea.
Can't afford that.
No, I can't. I can't afford a 3D printer that prints food.
Well, but if you had a 3D printer, you could do multiple Alinea.
Multiple trips to Alinea.
Would pay for itself
Alinea
in no
Alinea.
time.
What if that's what they're doing over there?
Right.
Printing out your order.
Nice.
Sorry.
But I'm looking at a picture of it, and it's kind of weird looking. I guess they use chicken with dough, and let's see, the Columbia Team State current 3D FPs, 3D printed food or whatever, is limited with their ability to combine ingredients due to the lack of high resolution heating. You're limited to using microwaves, ovens, and other heating appliances to process extruded food. To overcome the limitations, they use multiple different ingredients at the same time in a 3D printer, and they retrofitted an existing CNC machine, which is the modified X-Carve. I don't know what that is, but some kind of 3D printer, I guess, with an extrusion and heating mechanism, like an infrared lamp. And I guess using this infrared heating lamp mechanism to the printer allows for more precise spatial control of the heat being delivered to printed food. So I think it's basically they're using a, like how you'd use plastic in a 3D printer.
Yeah.
They're using kind of mushed up food.
That's what I'm saying.
And then it's printing it.
Yeah.
And then with this infrared
but it's like
X-ray thing,
here's a
it's
3D
heating it
printed
up.
steak, and it's like, that's just soybean paste.
It could be like ground up meat. I don't know.
Could
It probably
be.
wouldn't last.
That's what I'm saying. If I wanted something like deconstructed and reconstructed, I'd go to Alinea. $495 a person.
Yeah. But, well, and NASA.
$375 if I do the salon.
Even NASA, though, is exploring 3D food printing for meal creation on space stations.
They can't bring Grant Achatz up into space with them.
That is true.
It'd be very expensive and a waste of everyone's
A waste
time.
of yeah. That's what we need is high-end chefs going to space.
One of the fanciest astronauts in the world.
But I do think that'll be something that eventually gets less expensive in terms of 3D printing and having. I could totally see 3D printed food kind of replacing microwaves.
Okay.
Or at least working in conjunction with them. You know, like you would just have bulk of whatever kind of food paste you use, and then you'd put in, the little, input, oh, I want a fried chicken or whatever, and then it would print up like a fake fried chicken.
Okay.
And then you heat it up after. But I mean, if you look at the pictures, they do, it doesn't look like just a blob. It does actually look like something from Lineage. We better get some free food out of this. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Let's take a quick break. If anybody wants to hit us up, give us a call at 773-763-9278. That's 773-763-WCPT. And we'll be back with more Think Theory Radio right after this.
This is a WCPT Veteran Minute. In 1939, when Europe was on the brink of war, a single mother was bringing Jewish refugees into her home, teaching her two daughters to help others when you can and fight injustice. Freddie and Charles Offerstegen took their mother's advice to heart, joining their mother in distributing anti-Nazi newspapers and pamphlets for the resistance, a dangerous act when the Nazis invaded the Netherlands. But with the girls being young, Freddie being only 14 and Charles being only 16, Nazis were less likely to suspect them to be working for the resistance. This is most likely why in 1941, a commander of the Haarlem resistance group to ask their mother if he could recruit Freddie and Truss. Their mother and the girls agreed and were given basic training, and within 2 years the girls were bringing Jewish refugees into hiding, working in emergency hospitals, sabotaging bridges and railway lines, and killing Nazis, sometimes ambushing them from their bicycles. Despite the Netherlands not wanting to acknowledge the girls' achievements, their contributions to helping the Allied powers will never be unnoticed.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Welcome back to Think Theory Radio. Today we're talking about real-life sci-fi. What inventions, what innovations have been inspired by science fiction? And there's many, many, many more that we're going to talk about. But first, we're going to go to the phone lines. We've got Tim in Lombard. What's going on, Tim?
Hey, guys. Got a cool show. I just this whole idea of 3D printed food. I'm kind of been in this market for a while, kind of researching it and actually working in it.
Yeah.
The only problem I have with this 3D printed food is if you look at the nutritional facts on it, to make it taste halfway decent, the sodium content is out of control. So any benefit that you get from the food is really it's basically removed. However, I got a however there. I have a plug for a company that I use a lot. It's called 0 Acre Farm Cultured Oil. It's a cooking oil that's made from microbes.
Ooh.
And the reason I make it, they call it 0 Acre Farm because they're making cooking oil with no acreage whatsoever.
Huh.
You're growing it in vats, but the reason I use it is because it's got the same calorie content as olive oil. The big however is that the monounsaturated fats, let's say it's got 14 grams of total fat, but it is 13 grams of monounsaturated fat, which is the healthy fat, which is even more than olive oil. Olive oil doesn't even list how much it is, but it's better than olive oil, and it has its carbon impact is almost nothing. And it also, when you take cooking oil, if you know this or not, when you cook cooking oil and you heat it up, if you heat it up, it degrades and creates products that are not healthy.
Right.
Whereas this oil, since it's been engineered from microbes, it doesn't degrade under heat. It has what they call a high heat point. So it doesn't like smoke. So it's a really healthy oil. It doesn't degrade. Its downside is it's like $20 a bottle.
But does it last longer?
Yeah. But it's in striking distance. I mean, like the problem with cultured meat is that I love the concept.
Yeah.
Because the idea of humans separating themselves from eating protein and killing animals to say we're just going to end that we're going to end that sea change in humanity. Mm-hmm. The problem is the cost per pound is too high. I mean, $20 for a bottle of cooking oil, it's in striking distance.
Right.
They lower the price. They get within. They cut the price in half through efficiencies and volume production. Now the normal person can buy it, right? But I've read places like in chemical engineering news that culture meat they've got it down to like maybe $100 a pound.
Okay.
So if you get it, but if you cut that in half, it's going to be $50 a pound. Mm-hmm. That's still way out of control, way out of the reach of the average person.
Yeah, for sure. That's interesting. Do you know if it has, just out of curiosity, like polyphenols like olive oil does?
Let's see what I got the bottle right here in front of me. Let's see what it's got here.
I know that's one of the most beneficial things out of olive oil is you get the polyphenols.
It doesn't list them out. It's the claim to fame is the sky high monounsaturated fats.
All right, it's got mixed tocopherols. That's vitamin E. Is that good enough for you, Damien? I'm looking at the website right now.
Yeah, but this I'm a huge fan of it. But this is kind of a future tech food. I mean, oil without having to raise seeds, actually genetically engineered to be healthy for you.
That's wild. Yeah, I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
All right.
Cool show, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Tim.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Tim giving us the knowledge on the cooking oil. It ships everywhere in the U.S.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I have to look up and see if that was inspired.
It's not terrible. He was like trying to undersell it by saying it's $20 a bottle. It's $26.99 for one bottle, but you can get 4 bottles for $19.79 each.
Yeah.
And when you think about like what olive oil is for like the high end stuff, like that's very, very comparable.
One, if it lasts longer because you don't have to use as much.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, like the high smoke point, the neutral taste. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Might be a good alternative.
Yeah. At least to have a bottle.
What you do, to have it, yeah.
Mix it in, Interesting. I'll have to look into that. I don't know. I don't think I have another food product. But back to some technology. I thought this was interesting because it was, the taser.
Yeah. Right? Sorry, I was thinking like with the Blackhawks captain Jonathan Taves.
Yeah,
taser. Yeah. No, sorry.
That was inspired by the 1911 science fiction novel Tom Swift and His Electric Rifle. And that's actually, so inventor Jack Cover, a NASA researcher, named the device as a tribute to Tom Swift. So the TASER is an acronym for Thomas A. Swift's electric rifle.
I didn't realize
No,
that.
I didn't know that either. I thought it was, it sounds like, I don't know why. It just sounds like that, like the sound effect or something.
Thomas A. Smith?
Mm-hmm.
Swift.
Thomas A. Swift.
Thomas A. Swift's electric rifle.
Mm-hmm. Another sci-fi. And then we brought up drones earlier because, well, we're all going to be flying around in our personal drones soon. Those were inspired by Frank Herbert's 1965 novel Dune, and later movies that have come out. The newer versions are pretty good. That envisioned a tiny hunter-seeker assassin drone, and also autonomous flying vehicles are, also like Star Wars has a lot of kind of drone stuff as well. But the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration reportedly issued its first commercial drone permit in 2006 and then gave out 16 over the next 8 years. And now it's insane. I think it's probably 200,000 remote pilot certificates have been given out, I think.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. It was 100,000 in 2018, so I'm assuming it's probably doubled by then. Then you got virtual reality, which has several different inspirations from sci-fi. The first original one, believed to be, was Stanley G. Weinbaum's 1935 story Pygmalion Spectacles. And that was it showed VR as a realistic future technology complete with the goggles. And then Steven Lisberger's 1982 film Tron, had it like virtual. That was kind of a virtual reality. There's also Neil Stephenson's 1992 novel Snow Crash, which describes VR and also, I believe, had actually coined the term metaverse. Smartwatches. You brought up that, right? So not just the Jetsons. Jetsons are getting a lot of that.
Oh, there was a ton. Like when they released the Apple Watch, they showed like all the different.
The inspirations of
and all.
it. Yeah,
there was a lot of different ones. The first two that come to mind are Get Smart and the Jetsons for me.
Well, Dick Tracy.
Yeah, Dick Tracy, James Bond. Yeah,
Had the two-way wrist radio. And let's see what else. There were these, like manipulator arms, so they use like in the nuclear industry and in factories, or like big robot arms.
Okay.
Those were inspired by the 1942 Robert Heinlein published a short story about a physically infirm inventor named Waldo F. Jones who created a remotely operated mechanical hand. And so it was when they created these, what they called remote manipulators or manipulator arms in the 1940s, they named them Waldos in recognition of the character Waldo F. Jones. And let's see. Also, the Second Life, because I mentioned Snow Crash and coined the term metaverse. Also believed to use avatars was a thing. In that book, Philip Rosedale, the inventor of the once popular online community Second Life, had been toying with the idea of virtual world since college, but credits Snow Crash for painting a compelling picture of what such a virtual world would look like. And also, of course, showing the lack of ingenuity by Mark Zuckerberg that he just stole the name Metaverse for his... Be original, man. Come on.
It's a tribute.
Let's see what else we got. What do we got? We did cell phones, virtual reality, video calls.
Okay.
The use of Zoom, FaceTime, WeChat, and everything else like that. Starting in 1911 novel. It's called Ralph 124C 41, A Romance of the Year 2660 by Luxembourgish American writer Hugo Gernsback. That featured a video conferencing device called the Telephot. The German film Metropolis, made in 1927, also depicted a wall-mounted video phone. And 2001: A Space Odyssey, which was in the 60s, right? Earbuds, Ray Bradbury's 1953 novel Fahrenheit 451 envisioned seashells and thimble radios tucked into people's ears, as well as Bluetooth-like headsets, producing an electronic ocean of sound, of music and talk, coming in the shore of your unsleeping mind. Let's see. Oh, holograms. 3D holograms. Right?
Okay.
Remember Star Wars
Yeah.
had the 3D holograms.
Okay.
I would see Princess Leia coming up.
Yeah.
R2D2 would project a holographic image.
Okay. That's the first time that was. I feel like it existed before Star Wars.
Well, the concept of a hologram did,
Yeah.
but showing something as a 3D hologram, because that was the original, they were used, there were plates,
Yeah.
right? So it was a two-dimensional showing in 3D. But that, Star Wars is the first one, I believe, to show an actual three-dimensional you could walk around.
Yeah.
Right?
I gotcha.
And that was before hologram Tupac.
Yeah.
And I guess they've also, did you know they did Buddy Holly and Roy Orbison?
No, I didn't. know
hologram?
that. Yeah. I thought they've done other ones too.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Didn't they do Prince?
I
think?
thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
They owe it all to Star Wars. Let's take another phone call. We got someone from the 219 area code. Hello, you are on the air.
Hi, this is John from Hammond. How you guys doing?
Good,
Hey,
how you
John.
doing?
We're doing okay. Hey, I just wanted to say that think about the Terminator trilogy,
Yeah.
and or was it a trilogy? Yeah, it was a trilogy.
Yeah.
But the first one, they like the
Well,
when,
there's
the,
like
when the
5.
drones. Right. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there's technically, I think, 4 not to go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
There's 4 Terminators, then there's like the Sarah Connor Chronicles and stuff like that.
Right,
Yeah.
Right.
But there's a Terminator 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, if you think about in the beginning when John Connor was talking about the warfare in the future, he's talking about drones and how AI, got the rise of the machines.
Yeah.
And I think that's very profound because right now, what's happening out in Ukraine and also in Iran, it's a lot of drone warfare and it's AI generated, and it's like the future is here. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And they've already started doing, in China, they've been doing supposedly not real life, but they've done simulations of robot soldiers.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen those? Yeah, actually, those Chinese human-like robots. I mean, they can dance, and flip on they can do cartwheels and all kinds of stuff. These guys are way ahead. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, if you look up the Chinese New Year from this year's celebration, and it's an entire robot with a bunch of kids. So it's like kids and robots doing martial arts together, and then like backflips and breakdance. But it's a huge choreographed event. It's pretty insane. Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I hope you have a good evening.
Yeah, appreciate that, John.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
That just reminded me. I just saw a video. I believe it's on social media or something. But there's a guy who brought his little robot onto a flight. He bought a ticket for his robot to fly with him on Southwest, and then because of that, Southwest made a new rule that you cannot no more robots on the plane.
Why? Did the robot do anything?
No, I don't think the robot did. I mean, the video I saw, he's like walking up to the plane, and the robot's kind of going up to people and kind of, I don't say talking to it or whatever, or they're like, or talking to them. But I think it was just like probably preventative. Like they didn't want this to get out of hand. They're like, wait a minute, you can't. No. So they made a new
You're
rule.
not bringing any liquid onto the plane. There's no bombs on it.
Right.
I don't know. It could be illegal.
Well, it was the
Yeah.
guy was from a robotics company. I forget which one. So he did like make it comply with, whatever, how you're not supposed to have like
frequencies and
a
stuff
frequency,
like that, yeah.
an explosive or whatever.
Yeah.
But they still were like, no, that's
It's not like I trained it to overpower the plane and like take over and fly this to wherever I want.
And actually, that's the robots. So Czech author Karol Čapek coined the term robot in 1920 in his famous science fiction play R.U.R. Rossum's Universal Robots. And the word stems from robotnik, which is actually a Czech word for forced worker.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then in 1938, Helen O'Loy, Lester Del Rey's 1938 story, two men invent Helen, a robot domestic servant, and they fall in love with it, of course. And then Philip K. Dick, we mentioned 1955 short story Nanny, features a robot that takes care of children so well that the family it serves resists attempts to convince it to upgrade to a newer model. And then, of course, the Jetsons, Rosie. But yeah, but that's interesting. Like this was a 1920 play about and the term robot means forced worker, and that's kind of like John reminded me of it because that's how it kind of starts in the Terminator. And the same thing with the Matrix, where we're using robots as forced workers, or forced because they're machines or whatever. But then eventually they rise up. They want their rights.
They listen to
they take us out.
A little too much Rage Against the Human, and they.
Let's take another phone call. We got Roosevelt. What's going on, Roosevelt?
Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, what do you got for us?
I think I mentioned this before on your show. What about Captain Kirk and all the other underlinks under Captain Kirk with the phone, with the flip phone?
Oh yeah, we just brought that up actually. Motorola. Motorola. Do you remember Motorola's phone, the StarTAC?
Mm-hmm.
It was like the original flip phone back in the 90s. That it was named after Star Trek, StarTAC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I want to bring up a new one. I don't know how you guys are going to feel about it.
Okay.
Would like to know your opinion on this. And then currently, with the president that we have right now, a reverse minority report, meaning that all the crimes that he does in the future will not be, let's say, investigated, would not be responsible for anything that he and his family and his buddies do. Because let's remember what the minority report was all about, was the future, people that would commit crimes in the future. So
there's actually, I just had it here, but go ahead, keep going, because I'm trying to find something that goes along with what you're talking about.
So this is basically it. And he himself, look what he's doing with that old man, Castro. He doesn't have any power in Cuba, yet he's going to punish him or do the same thing that he did to Maduro in Venezuela. So he's going back to the past, and he's going into the future because of the crimes that he has committed in the past, and he might commit in the future. In other words, he's covering his you-know-what, him, his family, and all his buddies. So it's to me, it's like a reverse minority report, meaning I'm going to cover myself before I commit the crime.
Well, here I'm going to tie it in. I'll tie in a couple of things with what you're saying. One, Minority Report was written by Philip K. Dick. Originally, it was a book, and there's two things in there. One, they had the predictive. In the the movie, in the book, it's like these psychics, but it's like a computer system that can predict crimes, right? There actually is a software that law enforcement agencies, and Chicago police was the first ones to use it, that takes, essentially data of crime statistics and areas, and then gives them information on people they think will commit a crime. And they actually started, so there's been a lot of like kind of pushback. I think there was like a lawsuit filed by maybe the ACLU or something like that, because they were saying, they were essentially going to people's homes on the South Side and saying, hey, we want to talk to you because we think that you could possibly someday like commit murder or something.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
Oh man, that's
now
weird.
and then here's another one with what you're saying. Another Philip K. Dick book. It's called I just had the hold on. It's the one about where the Nazis, it's escaping me right now, but I just had it. Man in the High Castle. So he wrote a book called Man in the High Castle, which actually they did Prime did a pretty good version, a live action TV show based on it that's pretty good. But that was written in 1962, and it was a alternative reality where the Nazis won, and they took over the U.S. Right?
Wow. Funny you mentioned those words, alternative reality.
Uh-huh.
Because that's out of this administration too. If you remember, the first president, press secretary, what the heck is her name? She's the one that came up with that. I'll never forget that when she says there's two realities, and there's alternative reality.
Yeah.
Meaning they're going to make it up as they go along, which is what he's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
All of both of his presidencies, because he basically manufactures what he does in the market.
Yeah. Yep.
And in war, and whatever comes to mind, he does. So he basically, when a person doesn't know what they're doing, he's just going to do whatever, and everything is right, everything is good. I mean, this war is really scary too.
Yeah. And that ties into what we were talking about earlier. Is one, they're using a ton of drones, which is like futuristic sci-fi tech. And the Pentagon now uses AI to help them with their war strategies, which is even more insane.
Well, one day you guys will there be in the future? You guys will be replaced by AI.
Yeah. How do you know we're not AI now, Roosevelt?
And you know what's funny about that? It's funny and it's not funny because I contribute to a Spanish station, and to me they are using it because there's no banter. There is no banter between the people that are giving the weather or and it's weird. It's like you guys were mentioning robots, and that's exactly how they present. And they say this is so and so and so and so, and then you Google their name, and there's nowhere to be found.
Oh wow!
And then it's weird. I mean,
well, I did hear you might be right because I did hear one. You can look it up. They did this podcast where they created a podcast where it's two artificial intelligence hosts, right? And but then they I don't know how many episodes they put out, but at a certain they didn't know that they were AI. So they're doing this podcast as if they believe they're real, I guess. And then at a certain point, the people that created it, the actual humans that created it, told them that they were AI. And then so there's this whole part of the conversation of this podcast where these two AIs are talking to each other in this like existential crisis kind of thing, where they're like, oh my, we just found out that we're not real.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But they changed the format 2 weeks ago on the Spanish station that I said I contribute.
Yeah.
And they just go right into the show, and like I said, and I'm not the only one that said this to the lady that runs the show. It's a 3-hour show. And it's mostly politics, history, and back and forth, and what's going on with the news. And they're basically taking time off of her show. Can you imagine Jonas Esposito every 15 minutes, the weather? And then when they give at the top of the hour, they give only local news, nothing as far as national, no criticism of Trump whatsoever, none, not one single. This has happened 3 weeks already in a row.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it's weird because, like I said, there's other people that are even saying it on the air.
Yeah.
Meaning people that call in on the show and they say, "Oh, great AI," and they like kid around, but there's no kidding around. And it's usually two women and one man, and they'll say, "This is so and so and so and so,"
Uh-huh.
and there's no banter,
Right.
there's no thank you, or take it, back to you, so and so. None of that appears.
That's
it's just
wild.
cold weather, facts, and traffic, and only local news. They'll say things about Chicago, things that are happening in Chicago, and mostly criticizing the Democratic Party in Chicago.
All right. Well, hey, that's crazy. Hey, Roosevelt, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we got to take a break real quick. Thanks for the call. Yeah, I'm going to look into that. I want to see if it is AI, but it wouldn't surprise me, and that's probably going to be happening more and more. There'll just be AI hosts. Maybe we already are.
Ha ha ha. Very funny, Damien.
I think we have to take a break now. We go to commercial.
I guess we'll have to pay the bills.
Dive deeper into the heart of the news and stories at WCPT 820 and across the Midwest by checking out our website, heartlandsignal.com.
It's the coverage I can count on every time.
For the latest news updates, in-depth analysis, compelling stories, comprehensive election coverage, live streams, and thought-provoking opinions, head to heartlandsignal.com.
When I need to know, they're there.
They keep me informed and updated wherever I am.
Stay informed with WCPT 820, your go-to source for where facts matter.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Welcome back to Think Theory Radio. Today we're talking about real-life sci-fi, or modern technologies, innovations that have been inspired either directly or indirectly by science fiction stories and works of art, all that jazz. So we were talking about, Philip K. Dick, of course, he's going to come up, He's one of my favorite writers, but also tons of movies and shows have been based on his work, and he definitely, could say probably modern-day prophet. I mean, his... Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep was what Blade Runner was based on, and that's all about androids, and that's kind of what's happening now.
Yeah, Hollywood was probably just like mining all of his books for ideas in like the 60s through the 80s, weren't they?
Oh, yeah, yeah. The thing that's what's messed up is that he died just before Blade Runner came out. So he never got to see... The only thing that I believe in the 60s, there was it wasn't Twilight Zone, but it was a kind of a Twilight Zone-ish show that did one of his short stories. I think that was the only thing he ever saw come to life on the screen. But since then, I mean, it's been, Minority Report, Total Recall, like I said, Man in the High Castle, ton of stuff that's based on his stuff. And you can even see, the inspiration of, movies like The Matrix and other ones that were made by other people that were very similar to what his thing. And then we brought up, Roosevelt brought up Minority Report. Another thing in there was facial recognition, right? So that was the film that, was taken one step further, adding personalized advertising that pops up on as your face is scanned, which I feel like that's going to be happening pretty soon. Especially, I've talked about the show before. We're going to have the whatever Neuralink type of thing, and then you're going to see it in your eye. You'll see the internet in your eye, and it'll just be advertising popped up. I mean, Futurama, even though it's so wacky.
Oh yeah, no, but they talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
I always joked about it. He's like, I had this weird dream, and they're like, oh yeah, that happens all the time.
Well, and that's another one that they've actually been working on.
That's wild.
Yeah, they've done test runs of implanting advertising in people's dreams.
That'll be really egregious if that happens though without our permission.
Yeah. You would think. But there'll be some kind of way that they'll get our permission without us knowing. Yeah. Or it'll be something like, because think about how many apps you have that you don't read the terms and conditions for.
Yeah.
Right? So it's going to be something like that. And it's like, well, you signed on. You're part of the Neuralink fam now, so we can send all kind of advertisements. You should have read the terms and conditions.
And then there's going to be a class action lawsuit, and you'll get your $7, and everything's all hunky dory.
Mm-hmm. And even, we were talking about 3D printing earlier in one of Philip K. Dick's book, Nick and the Glimmung, 1966. It's his kind of his version of a children's book. But, he has in it, there's a miniature, a bunch of future tech, and the toddler kid, the main character, features there's a plasticish alien who can print a copy of anything presented to it, like 3D printing. And then memory manipulation, right? So we're talking about Total Recall, right? Modern neuroscience has discovered a molecule in the brain that's related to storing long-term memories. So theoretically, by manipulating these molecules, scientists can affect what we remember. So that technology already exists. Where they could, now, that one I could see, because remember, Total Recall was all about you could buy other people's memories, so if you couldn't go on trips or whatever, you could see somebody else's trip, but you would think it was your memory.
Yeah.
I could totally see that being a business. Right?
Right.
I mean, because think about how many, especially as, not to be doom and gloom, but as the world, the economy is not great and it's getting harder and harder to make a living, let alone travel and do other things. Especially once, when we're talking about technology, future stuff, as the robots and AIs taking over and, people are losing their jobs.
Yeah.
But hey, you could buy this memory. Want to go to Paris? Check it out. Let's see. Spray on clothing.
Okay. That feels like a Futurama thing or something.
I'm sure they did it in there. Yeah, I've seen it. But it was Philip K. Dick's book, The Galactic Pot Healer, from 1969, describes foam spray directly onto the skin that, when dried, took the form disposable clothing. And now there's actually invention of what it's called the Fabrican. And it's a liquid mixture of cotton fibers. And this weird idea is on the verge of becoming reality. Once sprayed, the liquid instantly turns into non-woven fabric when it hits your skin. That's pretty wild. And then, we brought up virtuality, also like Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? There's a thing called the empathy box, and that plunges characters into a fake world that seems utterly real. That was in 1968. He wrote that one. He wrote a book called Ubik in 1969, and although one prediction in there was not right, because he said by 1992 we would all have psychic powers and live on the moon. But it also has what was called the Internet of Everything. So he actually in 1969 wrote
The Internet of Everything.
Mm-hmm. Which
That's
was
what he
essentially
called it? Yeah. Wow.
The Internet of Everything.
And the Internet is the Internet of Everything. There you go. It's a little redundant.
And then we're talking about the Matrix. There was Philip K. Dick presented at the Met's Sci-Fi convention in 1977 in France. He said, this is his quote, "We are living in a computer-programmed reality, and the only clue we have to it is when some variable is changed and some alteration in our reality occurs. At some point, a variable was changed, and because of this, an alternative world branched off." So it's like the simulation hypothesis.
Yeah. Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Driverless cars. So we'll wrap it up with this one. In his 1966 novel, We Can Remember If For You Wholesale, he introduced us to the driverless cab, taking the form of Johnny Cab in Total Recall. Remember that? Remember the robot cab?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was based on Philip K. Dick.
It's been a minute since I've seen Total Recall, but okay.
And now we have the Waymos running around Chicago. Although they're not automated totally yet, but
running
they will
into
be.
Bus.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
The little robot dudes.
Yeah. You saw that though. It was like a bus stop or whatever.
Oh,
like,
yeah, where it
like
broke right through the glass.
through,
Yeah. But I'm talking about the Waymos are the cabs.
Yeah,
They're the driverless cars that are like basically going to be Ubers with no drivers. They already have them in California. They're testing them here, but right now they still have humans in them until they map out everything. And then
Gotcha.
It'll be within the next year. You're going to see a bunch of them just driving around and blocking traffic.
Oh, my God.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for today. I want to thank everybody for listening and calling in. We'll be back again next week and every Saturday, 6 to 7 p.m. right here on WCPT 820 Think Theory Radio.
Tom Hartman.
Autocrats generally, particularly those autocrats who have narcissistic personality disorder and are sociopaths, as is, in my opinion, Trump, typically do not tolerate high-profile people around them. They want to be the star of the show, and that's certainly been the history of Donald Trump. The only people that he will tolerate around him are people who, when he says, kiss my ass, they fall to their knees.
The Tom Hartman Radio Program. Weekdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on WCPT 820, where facts matter.
You're listening to WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk station, where facts matter and truth always wins.